Hello friends, in this lecture we will know about some more editing tools in sketching panel and we will know about translating, scaling and rotating factors. So we can find all these commands in the operation toolbar. I go to this operation toolbar and click on this arrow. We can find translate, rotate and scale. So we will know them one by one. So to understand this, let's go to some basics of translation. So basically in the translation, a geometry is translated from one position to another. Here is the example of a geometry. We have horizontal and vertical axis and we have created a rectangle. And now we want to place this rectangle from this place to another place. This is called translation. Now to place this rectangle from one place to another, we need some references. So let's go to the sketching. First of all, we need the dimension or the location. So first thing we have to do is select the sketch which we want to translate. So we need to select this rectangle. After that we need a base point. So in this rectangle we can select any of the base point. So suppose I select this end point as the base point. So all the dimensions will be calculated from this base point. So when I translate this rectangle from this position to this position, we will calculate a dimension. So we need horizontal value. So this is the horizontal value and this is the vertical value. So this value specified from this point up to this end point. Similarly from this point up to this end point. So we can specify this by coordinate system or by directly inserting these values. So let's go to the software and translate some geometries. So I go to rectangle tool, click on this rectangle and then I draw a rectangle. So first point I want at the origin. So 0, press enter, press tab, 0 and enter. And then I want to insert the dimensions. So dimension of this rectangle I can take, width I want 7 and the height I want 4 and then press enter. So in this way I have created a rectangle and then I want to translate this rectangle. To translate this I go to translation tool and then click on this translate. In this translate window, the first option it is showing instances. It means number of copies. So number of copies I want only one. And then duplicate mode. Duplicate means it will create the similar copy of the geometry. If I uncheck on this option, it will delete the original geometry. Only the new geometry will be shown. So right now I am making a check on this duplicate mode. I want both geometries. And then we have option of keep internal constraint and then keep external constraint. So till now in this course we had not discussed about these constraints. Constraints are basically restriction on the sketches. So we will cover this topic later in more depth. Right now I am making a check on this. Just make a check on this keep internal constraint. And then we have value. So before inserting this value we need to select the sketch. So take the mouse into the working space, hold down the left click and drag it. So the rectangle is selected and then we can specify the value. Okay, before specifying the value, we need to select the base point. So the base point will be this left point. So click here and now we have specified the base point. Now we can specify the value of length or we can specify the end point. So I want to translate this from the origin to 10, press tab and 10 and press enter. We can also insert the value direct by length and then press enter. So in this way we can see we have translated this rectangle. I go to the next slide. In this we have a rectangle. The original rectangle is this specified in the blue color. And then I want to rotate this rectangle at some angle. So that is called rotation. So to rotate a rectangle or any geometry, we need a base point. So base point is this end point. So this is the base point of the geometry, and this angle of rotation is specified by this alpha. So we have this original rectangle, and this is the rectangle that we have rotated. This is rectangle number 2. So now we are going to do this operation in CATIA, and then go to this rotate option, click on rotate. Number of instances, I want 1. Duplicate mode is on. So we need to select the geometry. I select this geometry, and then we need to select a base point. So this is the base point, so click here, and then we need to specify the angle. We can specify the coordinate values or we can specify the angle. So this time let's say this angle is 30 degree, press enter. So let's zoom in, and now we can see this rectangle has been moved. So this green rectangle is our original rectangle, and this white rectangle is the rectangle that we have rotated. So I undo this. Next operation in this is the scaling. So scaling means if we have a smaller original rectangle, so this red rectangle is the original rectangle, and we want to scale this. Scaling means the ratio of the dimension is same. So if the dimension of this is W1 of this bigger rectangle, and this height is, let's say this is H1, and this dimension of smaller rectangle is W2, and this is H2. Scaling means the ratio of this dimension will be same. So W1 divided by W2 will be equal to, okay, this is equal H1 divided by S2. So this is called scaling. So this ratio is given by, that is called scale ratio, or we can call it scale factor. So let's go to the software and do some scaling operation. I go to scale option, and then so the similar options are highlighting. Select this geometry, and then select a base point. This is the base point, and then we need to insert the value of scale factor. So I want double of this rectangle, so scale factor is 2. Press enter. Let's pan in, and now we can see this rectangle is double of the original rectangle. So green rectangle is original, and the white rectangle is our rectangle that we have scaled. So these are some of the editing operations